Welcome to the Online Success Journey Podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey Podcast, Patience.
Welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 312. We have a wonderful guest for you today. So make sure you click to subscribe right now and you'll never miss a journey. I post 1 to 2 episodes each week and each guest has a fascinating story to tell. Today we have Bill McCormick, who discovered the power of LinkedIn and social selling when he and his wife started their advertising specialty company over 5 years ago. Hello, Bill.
Hey, good morning, Patience. Well, it's good afternoon for you. Great to be with you today.
Oh, thank you. My audience are excited to hear your story, but just start by telling us one thing we are going to learn from you today that will help us on our journey to success.
Well, I hope what folks will take away from this is the fact that LinkedIn and social selling is not something that is optional for people in a B2B space, but that it's actually something that we need to master, and we need to master it authentically so that we're putting our best foot forward.
Wow, I can't wait to hear about that. But let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my audience a little bit about your background, about what you did before you started your own business?
Yes. So I was in sales when I first started in the workforce back in the late 80s, early 90s. I was never very good at it. I was actually fired or demoted from every sales job that I had. But really it was because back then I was immature. I didn't have a good work ethic, but also in the industry I was in, it wasn't about the quality of your service or the quality of the product. It was about the perks that you could provide to people buying. For example, baseball game tickets or football game tickets. And that's not something I had the desire to do. I wanted to just provide good service. And so I found myself leaving sales and went into the public sector. And I was actually a 911 dispatcher for a number of years. But my wife worked in the print and promotional products industry. And she had been in the industry since 2000. And in 2013, her boss suddenly died. It was just the two of them in the company. And while he wanted us to buy the company because he had been thinking about getting out, his family had other ideas. And it was actually tomorrow, it'll be the 8 years ago that we walked out of that place and we started our own business. And what we discovered was that our online presence was so very important. My wife left the company and people needed to contact her, and they found her on LinkedIn. And we quickly discovered that LinkedIn was where we could find our ideal clients. So we grew that business. I was able to leave my other job and begin working full time with my wife, and built that business by leveraging LinkedIn, connecting with our clients, providing value on the platform to gain more sales. And so naturally, people began to ask me, both in that industry and in my networking circles, how I was doing it and how I was using LinkedIn. So I began to train people first for free, and then I began to try to sell some videos. And that led me to connect with Bryn Tillman, who is the CEO of Social Sales Lincoln, probably one of the country's top social sales trainers. And we began to work together on a project. And she invited me to join her company and start as just a sales rep. But now I'm the chief of sales for Social Sales Link, and I get to work with people every day, both sales teams and individual entrepreneurs, and help them leverage LinkedIn to build their brand and to build their business.
Wow, what a background, Bill. Are you enjoying the journey?
I love the journey. I used to work in a kind of a regular job. I used to work, either 8 or 12 hours for a government agency. And that was very routine and very basic. And there was some consistency to that. But I love the entrepreneurial journey. I love being on my own, getting to make my own hours. I'm sitting in an office that's in my house. Work from home for me has always been since 2015. When I work with my wife, I've been working from home, so it's not something new for me. But I love the idea that my commute is only about 10 steps, where it used to be about 30 miles.
Yes, as you mentioned, you joined your wife and you formed this company. But what do you do? What you do?
I think everyone probably says they like to help people. And so I do like to help people, but I also like to see the aha moments. I enjoy doing what I do because when I have someone on a Zoom call, or if I'm sitting over their computer and I'm showing them some little tweaks that they can do with their LinkedIn profile to attract their audience, I like to see their eyes light up. And then I like to see when they actually connect with someone and create a sales conversation and actually create a sale from something that wasn't there before. And it's those kind of aha moments that I really live for and that I really enjoy doing what I do.
Let's put man aside. How do you know you are successful in your new business?
Each person has to define success in their own terms. For me, it's understanding that I'm fulfilling the calling that I believe I have. I'm a person of faith, and I believe I've been given certain gifts and certain tools that have been put into my hands, and that when I'm using those tools, that's when I'm successful. It's not about a dollar amount. It's not about how many clients I've closed this month or if I've hit a certain sales goal. It's about whether or not I feel fulfilled in what I'm doing. And I do, like when I have those aha moments, when I have someone on a Zoom call and they see something, they say, wow, I just connected with someone on LinkedIn and I'm going to have a sales call with them. And that never would have happened if I didn't learn something from Bill or from Social Sales Link. That's really how I know I'm being successful.
Tell my audience about the magic moment, the day it suddenly all went right for you.
Well, so I was in Bermuda. 30% of our promotional products business is in Bermuda. And I was there on some sales calls with one of our clients, which was a major bank down there. And I was doing my LinkedIn training on the side just by myself. And my contact said, hey, we know you do LinkedIn training. We'd like you to do some LinkedIn training for our sales reps. Can you do that for our mortgage brokers and our wealth managers? And even though I had no idea how to do it, I said, like any good salesperson, I said, sure, I can do that. And I went back and I reached out to some of my contacts, and Bryn Tillman was the one who, said, yes, I'll help you. I'll work with you. Several weeks after that, Bryn and I happened to be in New York City at LinkedIn's offices at the Empire State Building. We were there for an event launch. And I turned to her, and I was actually just joking around. And I said, now that I'm working with Social Sales Link, can I put that on my experience section of my LinkedIn profile? And she said, yeah, in fact, you can join the team if you want. And that was kind of the magic moment where everything came together. Because you see, Patience, my first foray into LinkedIn training didn't do that well. I was trying to sell videos training people how to use LinkedIn, and they weren't selling. And I was kind of at that point where, this is a neat idea, but it's not working. Now, what am I going to do? And then I found myself with, one of the top LinkedIn trainers in the country saying to me, hey, listen, join my team. Let's join forces and let's work together. And, the moral for the story for me is we have to persevere. And even when we have something that seems like it's a failure, we can create some success from that if we just push through.
Thank you for sharing. Bill, tell us, what is exactly social selling?
Okay, so there's many different definitions of social selling. It depends on who you talk to. Our definition for social selling is about building relationships, providing real value, and being a resource, understanding that the sales will come when the time is right. It's using online tools and platforms such as LinkedIn to attract, teach, and engage your targeted buyers.
And then you go on to say there is authentic social selling.
Yeah, if anyone's on LinkedIn now, they're probably experiencing what I define as inauthentic social selling, which are people who are just trying to connect and pitch their product or their service right away. They're contacting you to connect with your network and saying, we help companies just like you. And what people have to realize is that cold outreach doesn't work on LinkedIn. What people are doing is they're following along what used to work with cold calling and then work with cold emailing. If we throw out enough messages, we'll get a few back and we'll get some sales. And the problem on LinkedIn with doing that is when you're doing it, people see your picture, they see your name, they see your company, and you end up hurting yourself more than helping yourself. Authentic social selling is is engaging with people, having a conversation, just like you would in person. Patience, if you were in if you walked into a networking room and you walked up to a group of people that were chatting, you would look for a way into that conversation to find out more about them, to talk about the weather, to talk about the speaker that was maybe speaking at that networking event. You wouldn't walk up and stick your card in everyone's face and say, "Hi, we help companies just like you. Hi, we do web design. Hi, we sell people this thing or this product or this service." And that's what people are doing on LinkedIn. Authentic social selling is treating people on the other side of the screen the same way you would treat them as if they were on the other side of the table.
Okay, you've been in business for a long time now. What have you learned from business as a whole?
Are you trying to say that I'm old, Patience?
No, I meant experience.
Well, I am old. I've earned every single one of the gray hairs that I have. What I've learned, let's see. First of all, be your true self. Don't try to be somebody that you're not. The second thing is be above board, be honest with all of your dealings. You never have to try to remember the truth. It's always right there. And probably the most important thing that I've learned is perseverance. Every time you're knocked down, you need to get back up and you need to keep going, especially for those of us that are in the entrepreneurial space and in an online success journey. Online stuff changes all the time and we have to be able to roll with the punches. I think last year was a great example of that when the pandemic hit. A lot of folks got knocked down, but I'm so inspired by the people who get back up and keep going. So that's really the important thing is to just keep going and surround yourself with people that will help you, that will pick you up, that will dust you off, that will challenge you to keep going.
What are you still doing the way you work that you just know you have to stop doing?
How long do we have left in the podcast? No. I think really for me, the things that what I need to stop doing is being busy with things that don't create revenue or don't create opportunities to have revenue generating conversations. I can get caught up in the minutia of just the everyday things of responding to email or going down the rabbit hole of looking on social media, not with the intent to engage with people, but just to be entertained. And those are the things I've really began focusing more on my prospecting efforts and having real genuine conversations with people who are my ideal clients, not to sell them, but to look for an opportunity where I can provide value that will lead to a sales conversation.
Okay. What is the most dangerous belief an entrepreneur can have?
I would have to say that the most dangerous belief that they would have is that they're not good enough, that they don't have what it takes to do this. Because, and the reason it's a dangerous belief is because we fall into that all the time as entrepreneurs, as business people, even just as humans, we tend to think that we're not enough. But we are. If you've been brought to this place where you've started the entrepreneur's journey, just starting it shows that you have the value and the worth to do it. And so again, I come back to just pick yourself back up and keep going. Pour into yourself. Read books. I would highly recommend Selling from the Heart by Larry Levine is a great book, even for folks that aren't in sales. Anyone that's an entrepreneur is in sales, whether they believe it or not. But that talks about working on the inner self and believing in yourself. That's the most important thing, I think, for every entrepreneur.
As you mentioned, you've been in business for a while and you earned your expertise. Can anyone be an entrepreneur, or are some people more cut up for it than others?
I think each person has to answer that question for themselves. I think that everyone has a piece of an entrepreneur within them. And the question is, what are they doing to grow that? It's kind of like a seed, Patience, that's inside of us. And if we do things that will grow that seed, if we water and fertilize that seed, it will grow. And we do that by being around other entrepreneurs, by reading books that challenge us for the ideas. But there are some people that fall into a 9-to-5 mindset, if you will, and that seed dies. And so I think it's inside of everyone. I think it's up to them whether they fertilize it and they nurture it so that it grows So they get to the point where it's grown to the point where they have to go and do something about it. I know some people that they complain all the time about their 9-to-5 job, but when you talk to them about starting something on their own, they know I could never do that. That seed has died in them. There are other people that leave a job and jump full force into an entrepreneurial journey. The seed has grown in them. So it's what they do with that seed.
If you could rerun the first year of your business, what would you definitely not do?
Let's see. I probably would not have spent as much time as I did on cold outreach. And I would have spent more time on nurturing relationships online and starting the online portion of our business sooner.
How do you make yourself get back on track when something goes wrong?
Well, the first thing I do is recognize what went wrong and the reason for it. Just yesterday, we had something happen with one of our email pipelines, and the first thing that we went to is, okay, what happened so we can identify so it doesn't happen again. Because if we do that, then we can move on. Then we're back on track. But if we're stopped and we're just looking at the problem and just focusing on and worrying and being concerned about what went wrong without fixing it, that keeps us off track. So I'd say really identifying the problem to make sure that it doesn't happen again is the quickest way that I get back on track.
What is the most valuable thing you have ever given away?
Probably my time. I think our time is and my time is no more valuable than your time or any of your listeners' time. But we all have it, and it is our most valuable resource because we can't duplicate it. I can make more money. I can hire more people. I can, make more social media accounts, or, I can find more clients. I can't create any more time. So when I give that away, I'd say that is really my most valuable asset, as it is everyone else's.
What grounds you?
My faith. I have a faith in God, and I'd have to say my wife also. She keeps me grounded, but my faith first, and then she really keeps me and challenges me and keeps me grounded in being humble and not getting too big of a head, which can happen.
What is one thing that has contributed to your success?
I'd say perseverance. Being able to pick myself back up and keep going and notice. And I fall back on my faith also, because knowing that there's a reason for everything that happens. And sometimes the reason is that I was stupid, but recognizing that and knowing that there's an end to this story, and it's a good end. It's a positive end. It's not an end where I crash and burn, because I don't want to do that.
Tell us 3 actions sales professionals can take on LinkedIn now to help them have more sales conversations.
So the first thing they need to do is convert their profile from a resume to a resource. It kind of defaults to a resume. Your profile is not about you. It's about your ideal clients. And so you need to write it from that point of view. When you're connecting with people, you have to do that authentically. Connect with people and find a reason and a context to connect with them. And if you're not able to connect with them, engage on their content. And then I'd say the next thing is look at the network that you already have. You're already connected with people, and look for who within that network are your ideal clients and reach out to them. Have a conversation with them. Not that you want to sell them, just get them, either whether it's in a DM or it's on the phone, to just say, hey, listen, we've been connected, Patience, we've been connected for over a year now, and we've never talked. Let's get on a call and get to know each other a little bit. My friend Ed Weeks says it's called social media. Don't forget to be social.
In your business, do you have a coach or a mentor yourself?
Yeah. So my LinkedIn mentor is my boss, Bryn Tillman, our CEO. She's taught me everything I know about LinkedIn and social selling. But then I'm also part of a great mastermind group in the Selling from the Heart Insiders group, which are a group of sales professionals led by Larry Levine and Daryl Amy from the Selling from the Heart podcast. And we mastermind sales challenges, and we kind of mentor and peer support each other as we, learn this new area of selling from the heart and selling with authenticity.
What is the most valuable thing your CEO or your partner has told you?
Probably just the support that I've been given to head up the sales of Social Sales Link, to expand into areas such as video learning and e-learning systems, and plus the coaching that we do. We do coaching with our community every Tuesday and Thursday. And so just partnering with her, we've been able to launch a number of different initiatives that have helped, especially during the pandemic, help entrepreneurs and individual business owners, salespeople who have no support from their home office. We've been able to do a number of those things through Brent's support.
What is one thing no one knows about you?
Oh boy. I'm a pretty open book, Patience. I'm not really sure there's much that anybody doesn't know about me. Probably if you're just getting to know me, you may not know how deep my faith is and my belief in God. And I don't keep that hidden because I want to keep it hidden. I keep it hidden because many people have preconceived notions about Christians, and I don't want to play into those preconceived notions. And so I rather people say, "Hey, there's something different about you. What is it?"
What is the most important question to ask someone who has bought from you?
Probably what was the value that you received.
Let's talk about your business. Tell us more about it.
So at Social Sales Link, we work with two different kind of group. We have two different offerings. The first I was just talking about, which is our public offering, and that's for individuals, small business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, salespeople who have no support from a home office. And we offer group coaching twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it's 8 times a month that our members can come in. It's an open group coaching where they can ask their LinkedIn and social selling questions. And that's a paid membership, but it's just $29 a month. And then on the other side, we work with corporations. We work with sales teams of 10 or more, and we put together a customized social selling plan based on what their goals are. And we teach them what we call the 4 pillars of social selling. The first is, optimizing your profile. The second is about content, how to curate, create, and engage with the right content to get more sales conversations. The third is nurturing your existing network. And then the fourth is warm market prospecting, actually using your LinkedIn network to find out who knows who you want to know so that you can get warm referrals. And so we work with those sales teams over usually a 4-week period. And we do 2 meetings a week. One's a training session and the other is a workshop. And folks can find out more at socialsaleslink.com. They can actually sign up if they go to socialsaleslink.com/library. They can sign up to be a free member of our website, where they get access to our content library, past web classes, past podcasts that we've been involved in, and past master classes we've done with people like Daryl Amy and Larry Levine, who I mentioned, Keenan, who's a huge salesperson in and of himself and sales trainer. So I invite folks to go and sign up for that.
How can we connect with you?
Look for me on LinkedIn. There are a lot of different Bill McCormicks, but if you put in Bill McCormick Social Sales Link, you'll see me come up. Just do me one favor. Send me a personal note saying that you heard me here on the podcast, and or you can email me at bill@socialsaleslink.com. Be happy to jump on a Zoom call with folks and get to know them, and even give them some insights on their LinkedIn profile and how they can optimize that for their online success journey.
Thank you. There will be more from Bill in a moment. If you are listening to this on a podcasting platform and you are encouraged by Bill's journey, please go to our website at onlinesuccessjourney.com. The site has tons of audio clips from hundreds of successful entrepreneurs' guests' journeys, all there to help you find a path to your own online success journey. The site offers exclusive members-only content, and you can join absolutely free and be part of this amazing online success community today. Check it out. That's onlinesuccessjourney.com. Now, Bill, I would love for you to share more with my audience if you're up for it.
I am.
Thank you. Do you watch movies or read books?
Well, I do watch movies, but I probably read books more than watch movies.
Tell us, what is your favorite book that has some relevance to being an entrepreneur?
Well, I've made reference several times to Selling from the Heart by Larry Levine. And so I read this book probably about 4 months ago or so, and it really revolutionized how I looked at sales. And, if you're an entrepreneur, you're in sales, whether you like it or not. And what Larry talks about is the inner work, working on our inside, how we look at ourselves and being our authentic selves. And one of the things he says is on page 26, and I know where it is because I quote it all the time. And he says, if you're your authentic self, there is no competition. No one can compete against you if you're being your authentic self. So I highly recommend Selling from the Heart by Larry Levine.
If your business was down to its last $100, how would you invest it?
Gee, that's you put me on the spot with that one. I'd probably say I don't know if I would really invest it. I would hold on to that. So we don't have a whole lot of overhead in what we do. And, people might think, oh, would you use it for LinkedIn ads? We don't do any paid advertising. Everything that we do is organic. I would probably spend it on thank you cards to show gratitude to clients.
Thank you. If you are going to keep a note to yourself in your pocket every day, what would be written on it?
To be myself.
What is your next chapter?
I'm writing a book. Brent and I are going to start working on writing The Authentic Social Seller. And I just have to get it started. That's the hardest part.
Wow. I'm looking forward. Please, once you finish it, come here and share it with us. I
will definitely do that. Thank you.
Okay. Do you feel like you succeeded or like you're only on the way?
Oh, I'm definitely on the way. But I believe I have small successes every single day.
Will you ever stop?
No, I don't think so. I'm 58 years old, and I just don't know if retirement's in the cards. I think I'll always be doing something with this kind of training and coaching for the rest of my life, whether it's just mentoring or coaching.
Remind us how we can connect with you.
I'm Bill McCormick on LinkedIn, and if you just put in the company name Social Sales Link, I should come up. Or you can email me at bill@socialsaleslink.com.
Bill, it's been great to have you here to share your online success journey with us.
Thanks so much, Patience, for having me, and thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you. Remember, success is a journey. Don't wait. Let's start the journey. Patience and Bill.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to Patience and her guest and want you to know there are hundreds of episodes available at onlinesuccessjourney.com. Patience would like to thank you for listening to the podcast, and she has a free gift for you on her website, including an audio compilation of her guests' best tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. Additionally, there are special clips of over 250 episodes that have never aired on the podcast, and they're only available to members of the Online Success Journey. Check the website and click on Join Now to get free and instant access. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed on your favorite platform to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review the podcast at iTunes and other sites. We appreciate your help and your willingness to share your journey. One last thing. If you're feeling a bit lost or overwhelmed on your own journey, Patience can help. Check out her course on clarity while you're at the website. Finding clarity is a great way to get back on the right path. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.